We've been speaking about reflections for some time, and we have done this article, but wanted to put more perspective on this article. Learning capabilities have been associated with intelligence for a while now. It has been considered as an irreversible genetic disposition. You either have it at birth or you don't, seems to be the thinking. If that is the conclusion, then why even try? Perhaps that explains the lackluster approach towards learning. The thinking is, if you're at it, then somehow the grind will produce the outcome. This makes one wonder if repetition leads to learning. There are many unanswered questions like how much is enough? Or how much is too much? Or can this learning process be an enjoyable one? We have research findings that reveal that learning can be a developed skill and not necessarily innate skills. It's possible to enhance our learning abilities by training and exercising exclusive game plans to excel. To explain how acquiring skills is done better, we see that learning strategies of how to learn that far outweighs just aptitude. The way we comprehend has been found to score a high of 15 percentage points more than inborn intelligence. When we keep our thinking under the radar, that surpasses our learning of new skills far better than superior IQ levels, says Marcel Weinman in his research of empowering proficiency. Here is one example of a study that shows how learning strategies can be more important than raw smarts when it comes to gaining expertise. Marcel Weinman has found that people who closely track their thinking will outscore others who have sky-high IQ levels when it comes to learning something new. His research suggests that in terms of developing mastery, focusing on how we understand is some 15 percentage points more important than innate intelligence. Assemble your objectives. Learning is similar to project management. It is important to discern the area of our learning and to gain mastery in it, make doable plans as our prerogatives. Next, it is equally important to outline strategies that help us achieve these objectives. The pragmatic approaches to learning, according to research, are effective learning often boils down to a type of project management. In order to develop an area of expertise, we first have to set achievable goals about how we want to learn. Then we want to develop strategies to help us reach those goals. Incorporating a purposeful learning strategy eliminates the trepidation such as, am I good enough? Will I fail? What if I'm wrong? Is there something else that I'd rather be doing? Stanford psychologist Albert Bandura says that feelings of self-deprecation is a given, but they also hinder our learning of new things. Having clarity in our goals keeps us invested, and research shows that when we have specific goals that help us perform better, it's any day better than hazy, ill-defined goals. Our emotions are better managed when we have a specific purpose. That certainly shows improvements in the learning. Next is ponder upon the pondering. Metacognition is defined by psychologists as thinking about the thinking. It is introspective, of course, and it is connecting with the thinker. The typical questions here are, do I really get this idea? Could I explain it to a friend? What are my goals? Do I need more background knowledge on this, or do I need more practice? Trained experts are good at metacognition, and they are known for spending time thinking about how a problem is developed. Their thinking is more towards the reasoning of the problem. This kind of thinking should no longer just be for trained experts. Metacognition can be employed in learning as well. Pondering about the comprehension of a skill is important. We no longer can lean on the excuse that it went in one ear and out it came from the other. When we urge ourselves to think on the thinking or dwell on the dwelling, very much like ponder on the pondering, there is much more of learning happening there. Next, reflections are important. We need to, go out of our constraints of learning. Rather, we need to go outside the lines for learning to happen. It is very much like taking a break from an impending issue. Sometimes we do that. By what? By walking away from it. If that means that you want to debate with a friend or take a shower or do some dishes, they explained it very much like how when you read a software manual, all the steps become clear once we close the manual. Reflection for learning is better done, especially in those quiet moments, whether it be an essay or those moments in the shower. The key is to have these cognitive quiet moments, even if that involves some initiative from our side, if that involves some deliberation from our side. The saying that one needs beauty nap, it is so true for this, because studies show that the practice time is reduced by 50% when people take an evening completely out for a shut-eye, not doing any practice during that time, just taking some naps. It is literally like cleaning our book closet and tidying up a whole bunch of unorganized papers and all sorts of things that we find in our study. We notice that learning new skills is hard when under stress, or when you're angry, or you are in a fit of a rage, or you're feeling lonely. It's difficult to learn new things. Cognitive quiet, this addresses many of those questions. Our emotions are like being, overcharged. Sometimes, they say that, oh, you overcharged, that'll get discharged, right? We can seldom reflect or contemplate. Therefore, it is true that under extremely stressful situations, we still manage sometimes that, we do memorize a phone number or a certain number that someone asked us. But for any sort of comprehension, we need a lot of mental serenity. The serenity of the mind is very important. Our biggest take-home point is that learning can be learned. It's not that only a quick study, that is a person who learns at an amazing speed, is the only clever person. Our goal is to become a better study, namely a person who reflects on the learning during those quiet moments and assembles all their learning objectives. So in conclusion, this is a lot about learning. Thank you, everyone.